Hi, welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, and the tall aging golfer is not here today. He's gone off to Dubai to go watch the World Cup. As we talk, he's playing golf or doing his money against Mark de Kock on a golf course. And in his place, KB Shea. Kevin, thanks very much for coming in.
It's a pleasure, Lef. You know, I'm super sub. If somebody's away, you away, or James is away, only a pleasure. We can get through the show, no problem.
Okay, let's talk a bit of sport. James and I customary talk sport. He's not here to defend Arsenal.
Thank goodness.
Rolled again, eh?
Rolled again. Only thing he's got in his favour, Lef, is this morning on the Sky News is he's got his job until the end of the season.
Who's Goodman or Wenger?
I think Wenger and both. Goodman, yeah. So Wenger's there till the end of the season, but Lef, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I think he's going to move on because his sell-by date's up.
The commentator said if he announced now he's retiring in the season, he'd get a standing ovation at every ground he went to. But he's not. He's hanging tough, and he's got half with him and half against him. But they were rolled. Your team.
Yeah, we got a lucky goal in the last minute.
How was that third goal? What happened? The keeper slipped, eh?
Slipped, yeah. Valandez, what's his name?
I don't want to know his name.
Yeah, Valandez. He came there too, and Valencia chased it up and put a bit of pressure on the guy. The guy slipped and got a third goal. But 5 minutes before that, Lef, it looked like
tight game.
Middlesbrough are going to come back and score. Went from 2-0 up. We're going to look like we're going to 2-all.
But it's another win, and I think you've been 16 weeks at sixth in the log. You've now moved out of sixth.
Fifth.
Yeah, can you believe it? It's taken you 16 weeks to move up one. You've only got 10 games left.
10 games left, and we won. We're 4 points behind Liverpool now.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
You watched the Liverpool game? I thought a very good game for the guy, the neutral. A very good game.
City and Liverpool, two good sides. They both had their moments of brilliance. I thought it was the right result. They didn't deserve. Either side didn't deserve to win.
I thought Alana just had to push it into the net, and he moment of madness.
He wasn't at his best on the day, and your side doing very well as well. I mean,
Spurs again, Kev, we won, but the same as Man United at one stage, Middlesbrough. It looked like the Southampton were coming to grab that draw. So
and you never had some of your big boys as well, same as us. So it's. Interesting. So looks, I think the league's cut and dry.
You still think so? Eh?
Chelsea, I think.
We've got to pull back a point a game. That's basically our target. A point a game, 10 games, and as you say, it's a long shot.
Well, a point a game, you got 3 points for a win, you got 1 point for a draw. So
that could pull back 2.
Yeah, you can pull back 2. Yeah, if you work it out like that, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But
it does look like Chelsea were jammy. Jammy, a left back trying to pass a ball back to his goalkeeper and cross it straight into touch, corner, goal. In the 88th minute.
Yeah.
But they were the better side, Chelsea. They're a very good side, and they keep going.
Yeah.
Good luck to them. Rugby, England got stumped again.
Going for the record.
Going for this.
By my beloved Ireland.
Yeah.
And
Shea and Lafferty, two good Afrikaans names.
Yeah. And last week I sat and I watched Wales give Ireland a hiding.
Yeah.
I thought it was a hiding. Maybe you saw a different light. Wales were just too strong for us. And then this week, and then in England give France a hiding, and then we go and switch the team.
England gave Scotland a hiding.
Scotland
61.
a hiding. Yeah. So and
the interesting thing was Ireland stopped the run of the All Blacks in America.
And they stopped the run of the English.
And they stopped the run of the English, same amount of games. So Ireland, they're a nuggety bunch.
Yeah, and they're good. It was a great game.
And
both games.
Did you see the France Wales 100 minutes?
Yeah, that was the guys.
You couldn't blame Barnes. They just kept.
They
kept giving away penalties.
100%, and keep playing the game. That's the most important thing.
All right, let's get into racing. That's the basis of the show. We're going to go into our 3. Let's go to 3 to follow first. Right, here we go. 3 to follow. Right, Jersey and I are ready. Now, we've picked up horses from all over the place. And the first one is called Memphis Belle. And this ran on Turfentine on the 14th of March. Bred by Gary Player Studded Zavar. And we're going to have a look at this horse. It gets beaten by its stable companion. But I thought it was a sparkling debut, Kev. We'll get to see it any moment now. There it is in trap 3 in the yellow silk. Slightly slow out. Let's roll it. Kev, just that hesitantly slow, but very quick after that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one of those 5 furlongs at the Vaal you don't really want to get left, but he got left and he's shaking it up, Carl Zechner has. And left, I'm watching the race now, I honestly think he's going too fast. It's 5 furlongs on a first timer. He's really spread them out. And Twinkletown, the winner, I mean, is not even... not even in the picture.
Yeah, comes in the picture
Lucky's
now.
got two really quick horses here, and they're racing each other. For me, I don't. The little stick comes out on the one, and here comes in the picture at the moment. You can just see the winner coming through. They're going far too fast for 5 furlongs for me. I don't. I think it was a great run. All has to do is
Good debut, Kev.
great debut. But here comes the winner left. Really, the one going. What's they giving?
Twinkletown.
Giving them
So
8.
both from the Greek hang glider.
Yeah, one looks like it wants further, other one's a speed merchant, and yeah, a good run, running second. I think if he went a little bit slower, I don't think he would have been.
Would you have given him more of a chance?
I would have given him more of a chance. A little bit too hasty, you know.
And
5
Kev,
furlongs.
it's her. It's
Her,
so
yeah.
Memphis Belle is one to follow, Kev. Next
Definitely.
time
Oh
we'll
no,
learn.
definitely. It would a little bit fitter now, and definitely one to follow. Yeah.
Okay, right. There was, as I said, a very good debut by the horse. The next horse we found for you is Wednesday, the 15th of March at Scottsville. And this is an interesting race. There was a lot of scrimmaging concerning the winner, the third horse, and the horse we found is the second horse, which we're going to show you now. Here we are, Kev. This horse is drawn in the middle.
Guest,
Yeah, Gorgeous Guest.
Gorgeous Guest. Oh, George's.
Okay, now Gorgeous Guest is 3 off the left. The winner's got the white blinkers for Paul Gadsby, and that's Kildonan Lad. The horse that causes all the trouble is on the outside fence, and I think that's Raw Courage, Kev,
That's
on the
it.
outside of the group.
Raw Courage and Alec Forbes in the yellow and yellow silks. The winner is in Robert Mavis's silks, the good old St. Carlos colours.
Yes.
And the horse we got is actually
Red cap.
Red cap, off the bit, a typical Allison and Kevin Wright horse. There comes Alec Forbes, goes right across the actual horse that we want to follow, and he's giving the horse on the inside a bit of a hard time.
Yeah,
as well. But
Kildonan Lad manages, Keegan DeMella manages to get this horse to come back. Really hanging badly. Raw Courage has got to run straight, will run well, but the horse we found, Kev,
got
is
the red
really
cap,
picking
yeah.
it up late.
Got a clear run now, getting on with it. Typical Allison Wright horse. Always maybe just need the run a little bit. Running on nicely, very nicely left. I think a very nice horse to follow. The going was a bit heavy there. Nice action horse like that.
Gorgeous Guest.
Gorgeous Guest. I would think with an action like that, you'd like to see the
Yeah,
going,
about path
going
fork,
on
a
top.
couple of those path forks are starting to roll.
Yeah.
And Eclipse Racing and Bradley Bogart bred that horse. But let's go to our third one of our 3 to follows, and that was at Turfentine. And this is a horse who was debuting around the bend. It looked to be taking on a good thing, but there was money for it. It's a horse called Code Writer, and ridden by Sumango Kumalo for Sean Terry and those famous Fanikirk silks. There it is in trap 1.
Yeah, left comes out nicely. You know, Sean Terry's horses, I think they are either babies. He's got so many of them left.
Phew, so many good ones.
Yeah, and good ones as well, yeah. But they get taught well, and Shimanga gets it nice in the box seat. You can see the winners in front now. The striker straight and pose is just magnificent to watch. Striker is he's a great rider, very balanced. But the horse that we're going to follow is directly behind it, and Shimanga knows he races with Striker all the time. You can't get Striker and dictate in front like that, left, and it's the inside track too. You got to know the right. If you can be sitting going through the 400 metre mark, which Striker is there now,
you're going to win.
You're normally 9 out of 10 times going to win, and Striker keeps a bit. But
Striker finds a bit more here. Kevin Anton Proctor's colours for Mark Azzi, and just here the Sunrace Tours puts in a bold effort. The winners from Zanfleet Studders by JPEG, but the runner-up is the runner-up. The winners by Karori. Kevin wasn't beaten far for a debut run.
No, left, and he wasn't
punished.
Punished. He got a smack here and a smack there, and you can see Shimanga put his hands down. Next man, Zupert was coming at the death. So definitely one to follow. I mean, we spoke last week about the horses that the one to follows. I think you're on a 60 or 70% strike rate, and I think you got some handy ones this week.
Yeah, this one's they all look very, very likely to win soon. But that was our 3 to follow for this week. Let's go to Blast from the Past.
Took 1,800 metres and dispatched for R1 million over here, and Princess Barunya got away well. Persian Rug and Witchcraft were quickly away. Nurse up on the far side. Heaps of Fun is racing no more than 3 lengths off the leader. She's a Dragon. Polyphonic is wider out the black cap. Negro Amaro is racing about 6 lengths off the leader. Then Juxtapose and Christmas Carol racing behind them, and Melliflora is racing at the back with Alexa. Those are the 2 back markers, but only 9 lengths cover the field now as they run towards the 1200 metre marker. And it's Polyphonic that picks up the advantage. It's a length and a half clear. Heaps of Fun has gone up to run into second. Princess Varunya is back on the fence in third, and Nur is close up in fourth position. Then comes Witchcraft racing together with Persian Rug. Negro Amara is 5 lengths off the leader, followed further back by She's a Dragon. Then comes Christmas Carol, racing behind that towards the rear end of the field is Alexa. Just in behind that, Melliflora, and towards the back end of the field is Juxtapose. Homeward bound, racing towards the 600 metre marker in the Fillies Classic here. Polyphonic, Princess Varunya. Nose in behind them, Heaps of Funds down the centre. Further back to Polyphonic, and down the inside is Alexa. Persian Rug, Negro Amaro is coming forward stoutly on the outside. 400 metres left to go. Negro Amaro, Princess Varunya on the stand side. She's a Dragon. Also Juxtapose and Alexa down the inside. It's Negro Amaro in front from Princess Varunya on the stand side. Juxtapose and She's a Dragon. Negro Amaro, Juxtapose on the stand side. She's a Dragon. It's Juxtapose and Negro Amaro. Negro Amaro from Juxtapose, and here they come, and it's very close, but I give it to Juxtapose ahead of Negro Amaro. Third place, She's a Dragon, and then came Princess Varunya.
Well, there we go. And this was Roland Bauer and, of course, Stanley Ferreira, Chase Mojan. They brought this daughter of Judd Pot through to win this Group 1. Very emotional time for Roland Bauer and, of course, for Stanley Ferreira. A great training feat. This was his comeback, Kev? Stanley.
Yeah, this was Stanley's first feature race when he came back. And ever since then, I think that's a year ago, he's really stamped his authority. He's a good trainer. He's always been a good trainer. Got a little bit not too big for the game. Got too many horses, and things got a little bit out of hand. And he turned his back on it. He walked away, and he came back, and he's now. They learned from their mistakes, Lef, and he's doing very well. He's a great guy. I rode for him as well. He's a very, very nice guy to ride for.
Yeah, he's always been a nice guy. Yeah. Well done to him. And Juxtapose. Don't forget, these big races come up, the Classic and that, on the 1st of April. So keep an eye out for them. That was our blast from the past. And, well, as I say, Judd Pot every year throws you the big one. But there we go. Well done to all those concerned. It was a terrific race. The runner-up continues to be a bit of a bridesmaid. And we're back with Plum of the Week.
Stick is out. Bunch of time further back with Royal Warrant. 300 metres to go. Spring Breeze, the leader by a length and a half. Code Writer is back in second. Then Flying Falcon. Running on behind that is Juanita, but it's Spring Breeze, the leader. Code Writer makes that just a length behind, but Spring Breeze goes strongly, and Spring Breeze it is. Spring Breeze out the maidens for Anton Proctor. Beats home into second, Code Writer. Tight for third, Flying Falcon, maybe just ahead of Brave Mary.
Yeah, well, we've seen that race earlier, but this certainly was the plum. It looked hard to beat, had the form, and Anton Proctor's also with Mark Azzi, Bakarori, Kev, and Interbet. You know, I think it started at 7 to 10. There was even money, a touch of 11 to 10 about this. It looked to be the plum.
Looked like it, Lef. It's opening price 4.5 to 10, drifting out to 7 to 10. The bookmakers looking even money 11 to 10. That's with Striker straight and the wins like that. I'd be very happy.
That's right. That's your Interbet Plum of the Week. Make sure you get your Interbet accounts going because you do get the better odds. And that was our Plum of the Week, Spring Breeze. And Current Affairs will be up next.
Yes! If you love soccer and you play the tote, you won't believe what Interbet has to offer you, or the excitement of tote betting on your computer or your cell phone. It's simple. Choose your teams and your bets, work out what your combinations will cost, see how big the pool is, and place your bets. You can even track your bet live as it happens and get updates on your progress. It's all the fun of the tote on your phone. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now at www.interbet.co.za and you could be a winner.
Right, welcome to Current Affairs. We've got a couple of races for you to show you that came out of Australia. Two major races. They were run at Rosehill over the weekend, and I actually speaking to James Bester about it when he drove home from the meeting. He hasn't seen a race course that heavy and wet for a long, long time. He says, surprised they went on, but they raced. They had great. They had the Guineas, they had the George Ryder, and of course they had the big race where Jeff Lloyd was riding the favourite. And so that's the Golden Slipper, the most expensive 2-year-old race in Australia by a long way. Kev, these are fantastic races.
Yeah, Lef, I think you hit the nail on the head. I was surprised when you got horses like Winx. Winx was umming and ahhing in the morning. They got a scratch on her.
I'm surprised they were, because she had one in bottomless ground.
She had one on bottomless
3 weeks ago.
and that's why they let her run, I think.
Yeah,
but they ummed and ahed just in case it's too heavy and she goes wrong or something. You had the Golden Slipper. I mean, those your top 2-year-olds and going for big money like that. But unfortunately, that's the way it is, Lef, and they went ahead of it.
People are starting to ask the question, how good is Winx? Now, she's won, I think, her last 16. She started off slowly. I think she didn't win in her first 4 starts. And she's now won 11 Group 1s. She's won 10 million in stakes. But, Kevin, it's the way she wins. I think she won the big race in Australia by 8 lengths.
This one on the weekend?
No, this one was 7 1/4.
Yeah, this one.
But let's go show the public this race. This is some performance by a horse by street cry called Winx.
Winx looking to make it back-to-back wins in the race. They're set and they're racing, and Winx just jumped a little bit awkwardly. She's going to settle back last, and Lee Baz won the start. Le Romain's going to take up a very forward role, and Le Romain goes to second. Haraki's close, so is Sylpheed, and Winx is staying off the track. On the outside of Chautauqua, and McQuarrie settles last, 1,200 out. Lee Baz in front, Le Romain second, Haraki in third, and Winx is inching closer. Striding up into fourth now from Sylpheed. Then Chautauqua, a length off the Great Mare, and McQuarrie's last of all. 1,000 metres out, Lee Baz in front. The Canterbury Stakes winner, Le Romain, does the chasing to the roughie. Then Haraki a bit closer today in third. Winx is covering a bit of ground, staying out of the kickback. Then came Sylpheed from McQuarrie, and Chautauqua's last on the inside of Sylpheed. So Chautauqua's got to stay on the fence. Winx is about 3 or 4 horses off it, and Lee Baz the leader. Racing to the 600 metres, 3 in front. Schofield just gives Le Romain a squeeze in second. Winx on the bridle just strides up to third. Then Haraki, and Chautauqua will have to cut the corner. The crowd starting to left. Le Romain takes the lead. Winx is just cruising up on the outside. It's Le Romain and Winx, and Bowman sits motionless yet again. Look at her rip clear inside the 200. Le Romain can't go on, nor Haraki. Chautauqua out of the pack, but all conditions, all distances, all challenges. Here's Sweet 16 for Winx, making it back-to-back wins in the George Ryder. Le Romain 6 lengths away second, Chautauqua third, Haraki fourth, then Sylpheed, followed in by...
Well, there we go. Sweet 16, the commentator called it, Kevin. That's a lot of races. And I remember you go back to Black Caviar, the Darling, and then suddenly along comes Winx.
Yeah, Lef, that gives you goosebumps when you see them like that, just cantering. But
how would you have ridden it? Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Maybe I wouldn't have gone so far clear in the straight, but great camera work in the beginning out the gates.
Isn't that fantastic, Kev?
Looks like a drone.
Yeah, it must be a drone.
But you will see in the next race too, Jeff Lloyd rides a favourite. You can just see the speed of his horse, where he comes from, how he gets it across. And that's brilliant. You get the first, if you had the July, you could know exactly all the interference. You could see, Starps would be able to see interference like that.
They should look at doing
because sideways, you can get away with murder. You can just a little bit out the picture or something.
That's right. From above, there's no excuses.
There's no excuses. So I think
even if you stabilised something and did the first 400 metres from a balloon of some sort.
But the July is one special race left, because that's where you find a lot of of interference from the gates
Down to the drill.
to the drill. It's madness. Well, it used to be. I don't know. Now you can maybe get away with running 3 wide. Before the old days, you 3 wide on the July, you were dead.
You were dead.
So, yeah.
And now, Kev, this filly is superb, and people are screaming for her to go overseas, but she's won over 10 million staying at home. She's got another big race, massive stakes race coming up in 3 weeks' time. Fantastic.
Now, they're doing the right thing with her left, but like they did with Black Caviar, you'll get tempted. They must probably get a carrot dangled in front of them, take him to Royal Ascot or go to Hong Kong.
Yeah. Was that Glyn Schofield?
Glyn Schofield ran second. He was in the horse with the yellow colours, and they interviewed him afterwards, and he said he turned for home with a horse that kicked on him, and he thought, well, let's see where Winks was. He says before the X came out of his mouth, he said she knew exactly where she was. She was 4 lengths clear of him. So that was on social media. They interviewed him and Bo Huey together, Bowie, and she's a very good filly.
She's just so good.
And they're doing the right thing, just to follow the money. Chris
Waller, very good trainer, born in New Zealand. He's really doing well. But now the second race we're going to bring you is the race. There was a lot of interest because the I'm Invincible filly Hudson was ridden by Jeff Lloyd. He'd ridden it 4 times. It had won 4 times. As quick as a $1 massage, they say. And this horse, as Kevin alluded to earlier, you can see it when it comes out the gate. But subsequently, we've heard that the ground wasn't up her alley. But let's have a look at the race. This is an incredible race. This is the Golden Slipper in Australia.
Slipper on the heavy 10 and the big fielder off. And the filly Hudson flew out of the gates. Teaspoon trying to match her, but Hudson's already a length in front. Formalities pushing forward. Minari's pretty handy. Trapeze Artist as well. Followed by Pariah, Single Bullet, Diamond deep. They're followed further back by Catchy. Tulips off the track. Then Medinity. She Will Reigns hugging the rails and pinching plenty of ground coming up to the 750. Further back to Veronillo. Frolic is back third last from Chauffeur, and Trekking's the last one. Hudson in front of Teaspoon. The speed's been good. Trapeze Artist third, then Minari. She Will Reign continues to improve, being ridden up. 2 further back to Single Bullet. Diamond Tathagata. Tulips very deep as they race around the turn, and Hudson's got a healthy lead. But here comes She Will Reign up the inside. Hudson a length in front of She Will Reign. Millam's looking pretty confident. She Will Reign moves up now to Hudson. Minari's running on, and Frolic's running home on the fence. She Will Reign races to the lead. 150 out. She Will Reign is well clear, but Minari, Tulip and Frolic are charging home. It's She Will Reign in front. The $20,000 filly's got the slipper one. She Will Reign goes on to beat Frolic. I think Minari third in front of...
Well, there we are. She ran 5th, the filly, and she's very good. She'll be back, and Kev, it's the bottomless ground. But the winner, I know the trainer very well, Gary Portelli, as a 20,000 purchase. She Will Reign. The interesting thing, Bar Manhattan Rain, same as we had the Met winner this year, Bar Manhattan Rain. So Manhattan Rain it's not in the top 40 stallions. It's
all of a sudden, boom, boom.
Boom! It'll move up, but it's not in the top 40 stallions.
You get him for $20,000 left. It's a good buy.
It's fantastic. They bought it cheaply. They ran second last year. Can you believe it?
100%. And a big syndication left. There was a lot of new and young guys in this.
That's what they do in Australia. They bring the young people in and say, "Come on, come have a bit of fun." That's what they race course. They get people there. There's no question of the integrity of racing. They get out there and they have fun. And funny enough, the runner-up. There's an interesting story with the runner-up. The runner-up ran a very good race, and one of the guys said, "Hey, I owned the half-sister." So he said, "I've got to get it back. It's worth money." And he had sold it for $500 to a riding school. So he got hold of him and said, "Listen, we want to buy this horse back from you. We'll give you $50,000.
You're joking.
Yeah, for the guy twigged on. It's the second year it's happened. It happened last year. Horse ran second, I think, as well. They had to pay $80 to get it back to go into breeding because there's big money to be had now. Yeah. So that's the story. They still haven't got it back.
Oh, right. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
A mate of mine's trying to get it back, to breed with. But a great race. But let's have a break. We'll be back after this. Right, welcome back, and we've got some interesting news before we go into your call. Your call this week is mailed. We've got some interesting letters that have come through, and Kevin and I dissect them. But let's go into what's happened around the world this week. And Kev, the Hong Kong Derby was run. Now, most owners in Hong Kong want to win this race. You've got your big Hong Kong day, but this race is 18 million Hong Kong. It's more valuable than the Kentucky Derby. and it's for 4-year-olds. And along comes Rapid Dragon. Eh?
Yeah, Lef, I rode there for a while. That is their flagship race for the locals.
Yes.
The rest is international, as you know. Well, everybody will want to win the internationals, but this is their flagship race. The Derby's a big day. And I mean, Joe Moreira, how fitting. I think it won the treble, the same horse.
Yes, that's right.
He's won the 3 most important ones.
Yeah.
John Moore, his 5th Derby winner, which is a hell of an achievement, Lef. He's a great trainer and a
by
great
Street Boss, who's the son of Street Crown.
100%, it's all there. Joe Moreira, 5 winners on the day, plus the $18 million. No, just it's a fairy tale.
Yeah, they're very good. But just remember, $18 million. We've got some more stuff about Hong Kong to talk about. Magic Millions is having a sale in England, in Australia today, starting today, where Buffering was bought for $22,000. So, Kev, we spoke about the horse winning the Slipper, speaking about Buffering. It gives everyone a chance when you can buy them cheaply.
If you can get horses for $20,000 left, you're in the game. And in Hong Kong, I don't know if the people know, but to own a horse in Hong Kong, you've got to be super wealthy, as you know. They've just had the sales there now, and to keep your ticket or your license, the guys are paying 10 and 12 million Hong Kong dollars for a horse.
Yeah, well, funny enough, you mentioned it. They had it this week, the Hong Kong International Sale.
100%,
now, people don't realize there are certain criteria, as Kevin just alluded to. The horses are offered exclusively to members of the Hong Kong Jockey Club. And they broke the record. First time they've had an 8-figure horse. And what's interesting here, they paid 10.5 million for this horse. And it's the horse's dam was a son of South African champion Stayer Elmer, El Mufti horse.
Can you believe
How's
it?
the link?
Elmer, I remember Elmer.
Yeah, remember Elmer?
Yeah.
Can you believe they paid 10.5 million for it? And Kev, it just again shows that we've got to get these protocols lifted. We've got to get horses everywhere in the world. This is the Hong Kong record, and the South African influence is there.
Laffy, I was working there when they do this exercise. These horses come out from all over the show with grooms and people into the quarantine station. After we finish working in the morning, they come out, they work on the tracks, they have trials, they have gallops. Then the sale comes. This is about a 6-week exercise. It's so professional.
A lot of the major racing jurisdictions that are doing well have barrier trials. Get them out, and we've got polytrack. You could have trials. I think barrier trials have got to be looked at again. They were successful enough in Cape Town many years ago.
Well, barrier trials for the sales it's like a ready to run.
Ready to run. Your breeze up.
A breeze up, and they have these breeze ups. I think they do 2 breeze ups over a period of 3 weeks, and the guys come and watch there, and they have the breakfast in the morning, and boom. The sales goes, but like you say, 10.5 million.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but if he has to buy a horse, and that horse comes up, he has to buy a horse. Doesn't matter if it goes for 1 million or 10 million.
Yeah.
If it's the last
horse. You've got your allotment.
He's got his allotment. He's allowed his 2 or 3 horses. He has to buy a horse.
Yeah, so
I've seen guys buy horses with tendons, but they bought a horse.
Yeah, so
it keeps your license
it's a strange setup in that aspect, but it's... David Payne was telling me when I was over there the other day that he trialled a horse. I think he bought him by Congrats, and he trialled this horse, and it barrier trialled well, and he had paid 40,000. Hong Kong gave him 250 that day. Said, make a decision now, you got $250,000. So the lot went. The groom, the car, the trailer, everything. David got rid of the lot. So barrier trials is something that has to be seriously considered. It's just very good for the public. The public want to know a bit more about a horse before it races.
And yourself, Lef, you can have a look for yourself. And
Correct.
the owner, you can say the owner, well, there you are, listen.
Yeah, that's as good as we are.
That's as if the horse ran tail to floss. There might be something wrong with this horse. Either we've got to get rid of it, or what, you want to race
Correct.
it.
Transparency, Kev.
Transparency, that's all you want. And I think it's very good. They have a lot of trials in Hong Kong left, not just for the new horses that come in,
for the racing.
But on a weekly basis. A horse doesn't go in the pens, he has to get trialled.
You have a layoff, get a trial. If you're long layoff, you get a trial.
And left, just to interrupt you, sorry, but the trials there too are very... You don't have to do anything. You can run wide. You don't have to push the horses
check
out.
your weights, nothing. You get on, you gallop 6 horses.
You get on
show the public the horse.
Yes, you go and track work. You get on, you've got the colours on. You get in there, you go in the pens. Where would you like to be drawn? No, I'd like to be drawn 8.
Yeah.
If there's 8, I don't know if they have 6 or 8.
Yes.
I'd like to be drawn 8. I know, my horse, he's getting a bit nervous. Make him drawn 1. And
it helps.
And there's no bumping and boring and hurting and racing and sticks out, everything. You just jump out and come around the track, do a little bit of work. And good gallop without hurting him.
Yeah, no, it's a very good idea. Yeah. Kev, talking about other things that happen, just by the way, Jeff Lloyd's horse Hudson is going to spell off that. She's had her 5 runs, she's going to farm, but she'll be back. Now, this is very interesting, especially with the fines that are imposed. A couple of trainers were caught with a cobalt in Australia, going back the last 2 years. Now, cobalt is supposed to be something like EPO. It pushes your red blood cells up. And they're disputing a lot of people, but the top trainer, the trainer of Black Caviar, Peter Moody, they gave him 6 months. He said, there's my license. I haven't cheated, there it is. But there are 2 other guys, and I've got their names, Mark Kavanagh and Danny O'Brien. They got 4 years and 3 years each. They appealed it, it's taken time. Racing Victoria had a go at them. They went in with their vet. They were cleared, both cleared. The vet has been banned. Dr. Tom Brennan has been banned. But the 2 guys made a statement and said, Racing Victoria treated us like we were criminals, liars, it was a witch hunt. And it happens in this country. People have got the opinion of doping. So these 2 guys were cleared of this cobalt thing. And as I say, Peter Moody's not even interested. He said, I'm not going to be told I'm a cheat. He gave up. You know, he trained Black Caviar. And
he's a fantastic man, and I know Peter.
Yes.
He's
a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's a Mark de Kock.
Yes, a man's man.
He doesn't take nonsense from anybody. And like he said, he didn't cheat. And Lef, apparently there's cobalt and the caffeine, all that. It's in the food, apparently.
In certain, cobalt, they even got the levels. And they were cleared. I wrote this down. They had used testings that were outside of the requirements. So there's your requirements to test. We haven't found it. Let's keep testing. You'll find alcohol that I haven't drunk for 2 months, probably, if you go back far enough.
That's what they used to do with the photo finishes. That's how I got beaten in July. They just kept on going.
That is a more honest thing.
Yeah.
Because they're finding a winner. Here they're finding, they're looking for someone. It's like getting pulled up 2 days later and you have drunken driving. So I'm not clued up on cobalt, but I do know exactly that it does help the red blood cells. And they're re-looking at it. But it's interesting to see they cleared the 2 trainers.
Fantastic. I hope Peter Moody puts his foot down as a go. Because was he also racing Victoria?
Yes.
So he's also in the same thing.
Kev, there's 2 other points I want to bring up. Obviously, before we talk about the sales that happened over the past few days, Kev, I was looking at, they put out a list of the top 100 horses, turf horses, and earnings this year on grass. And it was called the Leading Turf Sires Worldwide Earnings. And funny enough, Street Boss has gone to top because of what we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
Kittens Joy's 2, McGregor 3, Hard Spun.
Hard Spun, he's come up, eh?
Yeah, Mark de Kock lost that also Ertejol the other day. He was by Hard Spun. He won the Derby here. And then Tappet 5. But the interesting horse, now it's worldwide. In 50th place is Flower Alley, which stands at Wilgerbos, the new stallion. That's excellent.
That's fantastic.
For us, they've shipped to our country. It's in at 50th. Very good, eh?
No, very, very good. Lef, you got some serious horses.
There's going to be some serious horses. Keep an eye out for them. Keep an eye out for them. These are turf horses.
Yeah.
And the last thing is the 2 sales, Kev. They had the Bloodstock South Africa sale and they had the Cape Thoroughbred sales. The Bloodstock was first. And funnily enough, the top price was a twice over colt.
Very nice. Yeah.
You know, he was some racehorse, Kev.
He was a serious horse. Serious stayer.
In the era of Frankel.
Frankel, yeah.
Yeah, twice over. So he was the sale topper. And Drakenstein with the vendors. And the vendors for the top filly was a JPEG filly who I really like because I trained the half-sister for Asfontein, 240,000.
That went to Duncan Howes, didn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Went to Duncan Howes, Lajitanila's half-sister. Yeah. Then, over the weekend, CTS had their sales. Mayfair speculators were big players again, but some of the big ones, twice over, 260. I saw that was very good. What a winter. They paid big money. There was a Jackson filly that went for over 400,000.
Well, these you're going to read about these stallions. What a
Seventh
winter,
Rock
Jackson.
still firing, 525,000. And Give Me the Green Light, 300,000. So there's some big horses out there. Mayfair speculators doing well. But again, the sales were tough. You could buy. The vendors found it tough. But the top of the market, they're still very good horses.
Yeah, there's good horses. I mean, can you imagine you're getting guys from Hong Kong and England with that kind of money to...
It's nothing.
It's nothing for them. And you're getting top horses. But
That's
then
right.
they're stuck with them. Yeah, what can you do?
Protocols are going to be lifted.
They lift the protocols. South African racing will go through the roof.
Absolutely. All right, that's current affairs. We'll be back with your call. Right, welcome to Your Call, where Kev and I are going to speak to you about some of the mail that's come in. Some interesting mail, and we've got some interesting points to talk about. Kev, let's get straight into the action. I've written them down. And we got one from Johnny here who said, lately, many horses are pulling shoes on the poly, and quite a few horses are getting scratched at the start. He said it seems like it's more than normal. I have seen that we've had, with a bit of a delay here. We're just refitting a shoe.
No,
is the poly different?
Left, definitely. There's no doubt about it. Poly and sand surfaces, there's definitely more shoes pulled off. But to try and explain it to them, the grass is giving you a bit of a cushion.
Yes.
Poly, there's a little bit of cushion, but it's just the hoof comes down and sticks.
Yeah.
And as people know that a horse's back legs go between their front legs.
Yeah.
And
it catches
the slower they go, they're walking around the parade ring there, and they just have to just nip it left. And it's the easiest thing in the world. We take our horses down to Cape Town, that heavy sand at Millerton. Shoes are pulled off left, right, and overreaches, and it's
so, Kev, how do we get around it?
You can't get around it left.
You've got to make sure your shoes are on properly and hope for the best.
Well, the shoes are must probably always put on properly. It's all most probably about the jock and the rider. Just taking him down slowly, making sure his head's straight. And you can't blame the jock as well. You can't blame anybody. You just got to be
just racing.
More, it's racing. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Kevin,
but it is
more horses been pulled out of the start. So forget the shoe issue. Banged its head or. They're getting rid of them quickly, or they're sticking to times, or
I don't know. I don't know if it's the times or anything, but there are scratchings. But like they should do in Joburg. Unfortunately, yesterday we saw a favourite come out, and you must take the whole field out and let the guys restructure their bets. And so forth.
No, that we understand.
That's fair enough. But 8-1 and above, I think they should just. Something happens, the horse bangs itself out. Cheers, but let's let the race go and let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get over and done with, But there has been. I must say, I'll say Durban especially. I mean, you've been overseas.
Lately,
Not just lately, when we were travelling with Mark and that horses when old Claire, horses going to the front of the pens and getting loose.
Always delays.
Once there's a delay, England, you lose the slot, you can't watch the race. That's it, boom, let's move on to Weatherby's now.
That's right.
Got a dog race.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
right.
guys are...
So I know they're very important, and in Australia, because I go there a lot, they're very worried about going off on time.
It is a must, Lef. If your slot is, your Durban slot is 20 past 3, at 20 past 3 you want to see the horses jump.
Some people say, well, listen, the horses get to start too long, but I think you've got to get them down and check them. For this simple reason, if a farrier's got to help, you want to stick to racing times.
You have to, Lef. There's nothing about it.
All right, Johnny, thanks very much for that. Now, a very interesting one is, what is the ultimate benefit of commingling and how it affects us? Now, I've spoken to V. Moodley and I've spoken to Michelle Narak about it to answer your question. And firstly, why is it commingling? Why has it got two M's? But it's a marriage of two words. Everyone thought it was
mingling.
It's not co, it's com.
Commingling.
So it's got two M's, and you think, what is commingling? It should be commingling, but it's not. Right, now very interesting, as I say, I spoke to them both, and the way it works, Kev, is that we get these huge pools, which people like to gamble. Massive. So another country will come in, and what they pay us for is if I can use the right word, royalty for our racing.
The picture.
Yeah, and 3% of that comes out and it gets spread amongst the three operators, Kenilworth Racing, Gold Circle and Pumalela. So on their ratios. So that's what it is. But the pool size is what the punters want. It also helps us, and we need that money, Kev. Racing needs that money that we go in there. But V gave me a very interesting point, and he said that if you look at rugby, cricket and soccer, and you put racing alongside them, as a major sport, people follow their racing, they follow it. The other sports get their money from three sources: gate takings, sponsorships, and TV. That's how they get them, whether it be the Sharks, whether it be Chiefs, whether it be everybody. Racing, sponsorships are minimal, there are no gate takings, and we pay to use TV. It's just a complete imbalance. For us to get our products out there. So whenever we can commingle, it's a benefit.
And there's no way to get around that, Lef, is there?
Well, they say they haven't enough to pay us. There's not enough people interested to pay us, whereas sponsorships are very hard to come by times at time. And gate, you can't have gate fees because people wouldn't even come racing then, the smaller guys.
So when you come to races, there's no entrance fee?
Yeah, no, basically there's not. Okay. When you think you're going to play the Sharks, imagine the gates were open. You didn't have to pay. They'd be
You wouldn't get
hanging
a
off the
seat.
rafters. You wouldn't get a seat.
Yeah,
Yeah. So racing's in a tough position, and they've got to realise that.
So the commingling,
commingling's-
yeah, that's
it's a big help.
absolutely.
We get the money of that because we get the percent. The pools go massive, you know. Whether
Well, I
it's be
saw
Turkey or
nearly
France.
£1 million for a win pool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
very, very good. So that's the reason. But let's have a little break at the moment. Magic Millions graduate, Roy's ambassador. You know who owns that. And that's our successful Magic Millions graduate. A few of them winning lately, and there's more to come. So that's Roy's ambassador for those of you who want to know who the graduate is. But let's move on. Okay, we've got more questions coming in. Here's an interesting one. What's happened to Stuart Randolph? And I know I asked you this morning, you said you're going to follow up. Tell the public what the story is with Stu.
Had a chat to him, phoned him. He thought I was phoning him for a loan. I haven't seen him for a while, old Stewie. Hell of a character of the game. And yeah, he had a hip op.
A what?
A hip op.
Okay.
And they didn't actually do a hip replacement. They scraped the whole bone on both sides of his hip. And he says they put in like a ceramic cup.
Yes.
On both sides, so you can get full movement again, and everything's 100%. He says he's 100%. He's going to start riding work at the end of the month, and with a bit of luck, he should be in the champion season. He should be riding again. But he said he's in no more pain anymore. He should have had it done years ago, but he. Like a typical all us jocks, we always try and wait and wait.
There's always a good horse that keeps you working.
There's always one that keeps you going. So Stu Randolph will be back, which is fantastic. He's a July winner. He's a great jockey, and he's a good person.
He's a very good person.
Yeah.
We've seen him before the op. He walked with a limp.
He was walking very, very badly, and he's even riding badly. Not badly, skewed.
Skew, yes.
But that wasn't because of the pain or anything. It was just because of the location of his hip, how it was. They've sorted it out.
It out. Now, Kev, again, the jockeys got a lot of stress on them, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, Lef. It's stress, tension, and panic. Those are
3 jockeys things.
Jockeys, those are the things. The stress they normally get is when their wife falls pregnant. And the tension they normally get is when their girlfriend falls pregnant. But the panic is when they both fall pregnant. Then you know they're in trouble.
I hope it's never happened to you, Kev.
No, I'm all right. I'm safe at the
tidy?
moment. Yeah, I've got
You're
the 3
tidy.
kids
So,
running around.
What are they? Stress, tension, and panic.
Stress, tension, and panic.
Panic,
If you get
so
any
any jock who's panicking, you know, Kev's told us why. Okay, let's go on now. There are a couple of things I want to talk about. I've got a few more. Why was racing stopped after 5 races last week?
Yeah, Lef,
in
I
Joburg?
was watching actually, funny enough, and the jocks had a concern. I can't tell you exactly where it was, at the 1600 meter or the 1800 meter mark, because they did change the distances. They brought the distances back, and everything looked like they're hunky dory. And the jocks said no, they don't want to be on the inside track; they must come to the outside track. And they tried to move the rail. And apparently the rail didn't go right across the course to join up to the outside track
so
of
they
turf and
couldn't,
tape.
yeah.
So they couldn't actually get away with it.
Probably time constraints and things
Well,
like
Lef,
that.
you try and move a rail, they got 30, 40 guys moving a rail. It takes time. I mean, Ralph Smat will tell you.
One of our apprentices tried at Scottsville the other day. He tried to move
You try to move them, eh?
Yeah, he tried. He learned it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. So
Kev, that was the reason.
So that was the reason. And then the last 3 races at the Val the other day too was a lightning issue. So
yeah, that's
so they've lost a couple of races.
Scottsville the other day.
Oh no, it was Scottsville. Not Joburg.
Yeah,
that's
Scottsville.
right, it was Scottsville, and that's left. I must be honest. I rode for many years. Lightning didn't stop racing too many times. It was normally either the very bad going, not lightning.
Could you imagine getting struck in Conan looking like Don King and on 4th?
The old Newmarket, Graham Hawkins will tell you, the old Newmarket when the lightning used to come there, very dangerous.
They get it a lot in the Highveld, not so much here.
Yeah, Highveld they get very bad electric storms, and something to you ask Martinez Mini about lightning. He's been struck twice. When the lightning comes, you can't find him. He's under the bed or somewhere.
Martinez Mini.
Martinez Mini. He's gun shy for the lightning.
All right. Going through the other mail received a letter. I'm reading my glasses. It's a very small print. It's from a guy called Leonard Block, Kev. And he says, my name is Leonard Block. Due to my love of horses and the racing game, I've become a part owner of two-year-olds in July last year. My ownership now has been extended to 6 horses in total. With the possibility of having my first runner or runners in a matter of weeks, I made inquiries as to when I would receive my owner's badge. Much to my amazement, I was told the badge would only be issued as to when I joined the RA. Further investigation told me that after paying an amount of $14.25 or pro rata for the balance of the year, I'd get the badge, but the badge would be of no value for the big race days in Cape Town. I still have to pay entrance fees to the course. And surely as an owner, I would be afforded the honour and privilege of getting an owner's badge without further costs to me. Seems to me that every obstacle has been put in the way of the small owner like me in the game for the love of the game. Racing needs 10,000 more Leonard blocks if it is to remain viable in the onslaught of sports betting and casinos. In my view, the top 6 to 8 big owners can sustain the industry with their horses alone. The smaller stables are there, and there are many, will not survive without the support of the small owner like me, who is unable to pay millions. For top horses, as is currently the case, I suggest a redecision. So I phoned up Larry Weinstein. Larry's always approachable. And I said to Larry, what is the story here? We've got a letter from a client. What do you think? And Larry said, absolute nonsense. You do not have to join the RA. Your badge gets you in all over the country. So whoever's given Leonard this information is incorrect.
Who would give a man information like that?
I don't know. He must have phoned up the club.
We need to actually get hold of Leonard and say, who gave you this information? Who gave you this?
Correct. Good point, Kev. Because Larry said, absolutely not.
Chasing people away. Can you imagine if he tells his mate, now, hey, listen.
Tough game.
I could say, hey, well, why must I get involved? You've lost the owner.
Yeah, and Larry just said, let's clear this up. And Larry said, there's no way when you become an owner, you have to become a member of the RA. That's rubbish. There are plenty of people who aren't members of the RA. RAs have benefits and they're there, but everyone gets the perk of getting onto a race course wherever it is with their badges. This is erroneous, and if you have a problem with this, Leonard, and you certainly seem to have, phone the RA and speak to Larry Weinstein. He's a very good open door policy. We got one more question from him, Kev, that came up too. Merit ratings.
Oh, it's just the same guy.
Leonard Block. He just got a part 2. And in this part 2, Kev, he says, you've got a situation where you hear people on TV saying, oh, my horse would have won, but he got penalised 20 points and he ran 3rd the other day, he ran 2nd. And he said they should raise the points for the ratings only if you win a race. But you can't do that, Kevin.
No, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Absolutely impossible.
Absolutely. Leonard, you cannot do that. As Kevin and I will allude to, you know, if you run 2nd in the race and you're 12 lengths clear of somebody else, whatever, you're going to get your punishment, and invariably the handicappers who have a tough job get it quite right. Eh?
I wouldn't like to do that job.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is cap it. Can't give a horse.
Yeah, there are certain instances when it's capped 8 points, 6 points, whatever.
And then the guy can't cry 9 points, 10 points.
Yeah.
I know, but when you see a 2-year-old show a little bit of early.
Yes, promise.
You know, you think you've got something on your hands. Next minute he's a 96. Good man. You're gone.
Yeah, and you see it happens. But then conversely, you'll have a horse that can come in under the radar and win 5.
Well, you've seen them come from Joburg and everywhere to the poly track. I mean, we saw one yesterday of Lazarn Forms.
Yeah,
correct. He's the Kimberley kid up there. Didn't run a bad race, but he got a very, very low rating.
Rollating.
Yeah, close. So, yeah.
Stress, panic, tension, never forget those things, jockey. Kev, another thing, there's a very good article going around by Charles Fall on merit ratings and handicappings, and if anyone can get to see it, to read it, it's very good. I've seen responses from John Freeman, a very good response, and I know Gaynor Rupert's commented on it, and I think if you're watching Charles, I think you should try to get that to as many people. Very interesting that people give us a bit of a take on it. And
where's that, Lev? I'd like to read that.
Yeah,
is it a book or what is it?
No, it's just his opinion. He went through some races, and it's called the Merit Ratings debate. He sent it to Gaynor Rupert, myself. He sent it to John Freeman. John gave us a very good reply, and we had comment from.
Does it make sense, or is it something that should be?
And I think his article is excellent, but I think there are some areas where handicappers might be able to comment. They might be handcuffed. They can't do certain things. Are they all too low? They're all too high. You know, so if you can get that Charles Fall, because he's a wonderful lad in the game.
And you're right,
and the last thing we got from was Barry Irwin and Ken Hollingsworth. He is a guy, I've got it here, and he's called it Let George Do It. It's a very good article on how we can get rid of racing's perceptions. The biggest perception in racing, Kevin, is that perception is reality, that the game's crooked.
Yeah.
You know, and if it was, don't you think you and I, who've spent years in this game, would have helicopters now?
Yeah, 100% left. I think in the old days, 1 or 2 stories came out. I mean, Sea Cottage got shot before the July, and that all of a sudden now it's crooked. You know?
The whole
that
game.
means the stops around the whole world are not doing their job.
They're not doing their job.
The policing of the racing is not getting done because you don't see. You might get incidents every now and again. You can't paint.
Yeah, that's right. You can't paint with a broad brush. I agree with you, Kevin. As you know, people get a perception of something. You know, they'll say he's a bad jockey. It'll take a jockey a long time to become a good jockey because of perceptions. He's a bad trainer, or he's a bad guy, or whatever. And that's very sad. And this article that's written, he said, let George do it. He called it, who is George? George is you and I. We must get involved. But he said the public perception of racing is that it's dishonest. It's got to go. You've got to get it out there. But he says there's an point here that I took out, and he said it's a matter of integrity has been brought up again because the Americans got together. They had a council in Washington, and they decided, let's find out why racing is not going forward enough. We need to get more people involved with it. And he said there were problems that race fixing, drugging of horses, and hidden ownership. Hidden ownership in our country would probably say is under the lap.
Yeah,
and I don't see it as that big a problem, but overseas they're having a hell of a hard time with it. And he said, this is one point that I think you'd like to hear there. There are some things, though, we can do something about. The selection of racing officials is critical. It mustn't just be handed down to anybody. It's very critical. So racing officials are the guys who police us, who administer us and run us. And, you know, sadly, not every racing official is chosen for his knowledge and his temperament. Some still have been chosen for their friendship, and some for political associations. Some have been chosen because they were once successful and popular horsemen. You'd fall into that category, I'm just saying to you.
Yeah.
And they have racing background, true, but not necessarily the mental capacity or the discipline or the dedication that is needed to make an effective racing official.
That's me again.
Yeah. So Kev, he's saying, when you're going to employ stops, make sure you've got it 100% right.
No, 100 left for that is a very important.
But I've seen jockeys make the step up successfully.
Harold Taylor.
Yeah, Harold Taylor.
World class.
Springs to mind. He was inflexible, you know. And but he's saying, don't have to be a jockey to be a star.
No, not at all.
You can get people from any walk of life as long as they understand the product and they know what's going on and the integrity is not in question. No,
there's great guys. The guys who run Hong Kong. They are the most strictest guys you've ever met in your life. But Dougie White to the guy at the bottom, they're all exactly the same. You walk into that boardroom, there's no favoritism.
Kev, do you agree with the countries you're talking about, the Singapore and that?
Jamie Steer, he's head of England now.
Jamie Steer.
Jamie Steer was a head start when I was in Hong Kong. He is the straightest man, and the guy who's taken over now his underwriter is Kim Kelly. They are so strict, Lef. It is scary.
Jock Sproul spring to mind? I know you're apprenticing.
Yeah, Jock Sproul they like that. Jock Sproul.
So Kev.
But everybody's the same. Nobody gets anybody. If Dougie White, if Joe Moreira does the same as what I've done, we get the same punishment.
Okay, so it's not valid on how many winners you have.
Nothing.
It's the infringement.
Nothing. The infringement, and it's everybody. You make that mistake, you pay the penalty.
And Kev. Getting back to perceptions being reality. Hong Kong, they never say, well, this guy was no good. Well, you know, they've got their perceptions right.
There, you wouldn't even think of
commenting on it.
You don't even make a comment like that. They've got special people that police and follow that because there's no bookmakers in Hong Kong. It's only tote, and they got to follow the underground.
So you'll never see a jockey talking to a tote manager.
Boy, you never see. You bluff. You don't even know them. But the tote, where I say tote manager, the guy. That'll be the Hong Kong Jockey Club.
Yes.
You would walk past morning, sir, morning there. You have respect for all of them, but they know you would never approach them for anything. I mean, it's just Hong Kong do not have that.
We've got to get our perceptions right. We have to keep going with transparency.
Have to
sell our product.
There's a thing. Have your trials.
Yes.
There's the horses. The first timers rule.
Yes.
Warren McFernan does a
you've got to answer those questions.
He sits there for 3-4 hours sometimes trying to get
all the people.
Tell people. Tell them. Come to the races to have an announcement. There's a list there. Go and have a look at the first timers.
I agree with you. So very interesting, eh?
Very interesting. If you want the product to work, unfortunately.
Kent Hollingsworth, he really is a good writer. I thoroughly enjoyed his article. Especially, I read an article of his was on an obituary on Joe Estes, and it was outstanding. So thanks very much for the mail, for everybody. Get your mail out there. We'll probably try and set you correct. If we can't, we will speak to the authorities who deal with the issues you bring up. Kev, very interesting, eh?
Very interesting, Lef. And you know, I sat and I listened and watched our James interview with Graham Hawkins last week, and And it was quite frightening just to hear from the top how things have got to start. Things has got to start happening.
It's got to change.
It's got to change, Lef. And like Graham says, we're going into our champion season now. I mean, it's like everybody's dream. We all want to have.
We've got to start beating the same drum, all of us. We've got to be transparent. We've got to go out there and say, let's change the industry.
It's the same product everybody wants. Let's share the cake.
Let's share the cake. Kev, thanks very much for stepping in for Jim. He should be back next week if they don't lock him up for cheating at golf. It's a serious offence in Dubai. But thanks very much, Kev.
It's a pleasure, Lef.
Well, there we go. That's your call for this week. And Jim will be back with me in the hot seat. Until next week.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.